Jesus Christ passed away in Japan, and his tomb is also in Japan. Is it in Aomori's Herai village? No, it is not there. Please take a look at this map. This is a mountain in Minami Oda, Kamikawa Town, in the middle of Hyogo Prefecture. As you can see, the mountain summit looks like a keyhole-shaped tomb mound, and next to it, there is a beautiful heart-shaped hill. This keyhole-shaped tomb mound is precisely the tomb of Jesus Christ. However, you might be incredulous at first. We will now show you some evidence. It was hidden in the locations and orientations of famous temples. This is the famous Kondo Hall of Todai-ji Temple. It is well known as the Great Buddha Hall. Construction of Todai-ji was started by Emperor Shomu 745 AD during the Nara period. The principal image is the famous Great Buddha of Nara, which has a height of 14.7 meters. The Great Buddha Hall was burnt down twice in 2 battles, and the current one is 3rd generation. However, the location and orientation have not changed from the original structure. The front of the current hall has bow-shaped eaves called karahafu, the center of which has a decorative board called gegyo, on which is depicted the Sanskrit character A, which symbolizes Vairocana Buddha or Virushana Buddha, meaning the beginning of all things. The Great Buddha Hall faces almost directly south, which means that when people pray in front of the Buddha, they are worshipping towards due north. Then, what can we find due north of Todai-ji's Great Buddha Hall? As a matter of fact, we can find the Konpon Chudo Hall of Hiei-zan Enryaku-ji Temple. The distance is 42.3 kilometers. Of course, Enryaku-ji was built in the Heian period, so it was built after Todai-ji, which was built in the Nara period. So, why was it built due north of Todai-ji? Master Saicho, an important priest, built a temple called Ichijo Shikan-in with Yakushi Nyorai, Buddha able to cure all ills, as the principal image in 788 AD at Mount Hiei-zan. This later became the current Konpon Chudo Hall of Enryaku-ji Temple. At this time, the capital was still Nagaoka-kyo, so it was not built to protect the Demon's Gate at Heian-kyo. The scale might not have been as large as it is currently. However, the present Ichijo Shikan-in Temple maintains the same location and direction to this day. By the way, the building of the Konpon Chudo Hall is uniquely structured in a way that isn't found elsewhere. In ordinary temples, the principal image is placed facing worshippers at a rather high location so that if priests are present, people can worship the image above the priests' heads. However, that isn't so in the case of Konpon Chudo Hall. As worshippers progress along the corridor, they are gradually led up to the second floor, where they can sit directly facing the principal image. There is a space between worshippers and the image, so if they look below, they can see where the Buddhist priests offer their prayers. One can face the principal image without having to view the priests' backs. What an excellent and special structure! Now, regarding the direction in which prayers are made, they are clearly directed towards Jesus' tomb in Kamikawa town. On the same line, we can also find the tomb of Himiko, Queen of Yamataikoku and guardian of Jesus' tomb. In other words, Master Saicho knew the locations of Jesus and Himiko's tombs and built Ichijo-shikan-in Temple so that prayers would be directed daily towards Jesus and Himiko's tombs. Here is Todai-ji Temple again. What is due west of Todai-ji? It is Kamishima Island. Kamishima Island is one of the islands in the Ieshima Island group of Himeji City. In Harima no Kuni Fudoki, which was an old record of culture and geography, it was inscribed that there was a stone god. Also, the island has importance as being a sacred place for Omoto. In fact, there is a large rock formation that looks like a human face. Let's bend the line at a right angle and look due north of Kamishima Island. Sure enough, we will reach Jesus' tomb. This, of course, can be drawn as a right triangle, the first right triangle. Enryaku-ji, Todai-ji, and Kamishima also make points of a right triangle. This is the second right triangle. Next is Koya-san Kongobu-ji Temple. It was built in 816 and was founded by Master Kukai. Connecting Kongobu-ji with Todai-ji and Jesus' tomb also gives us a right triangle, the third right triangle. Hiei-zan Enryaku-ji Temple, mentioned earlier, and Kongobu-ji Temple, Koya-san, are two major hubs of Heian Buddhism, namely the Tendai-shu sect and Shingon-shu sect. Connecting Enryaku-ji Temple with Kongobu-ji Temple makes one side of an equilateral triangle, with the third point precisely being the 120-meter summit of Yamanaka, Shikata Town, Kakogawa City, Hyogo Prefecture. This mountain is shaped like a rectangle with a handle attached. Actually, this mountain is Jesus' public tomb, which we can call an official tomb. The tomb, which is the real burial site at Kamikawa Town, is up a mountain that is too steep for people to worship at easily. So this official tomb was made at a flatter location for easier access. At the foot of this mountain are two map symbols of torii gates. The one in the west represents Shirahige Shrine, while the one in the south represents Otoshi Shrine. Of these shrines, if you pray at Otoshi Shrine, where are those prayers directed? They are directed towards Jesus' burial tomb at Kamikawa Town. So, when you pray at Otoshi Shrine, prayers can properly go to Jesus' tomb. This official Jesus tomb, along with Jesus' burial tomb at Kamikawa Town and Hiei-zan Enryaku-ji Temple, also form a right triangle, the fourth right triangle. In addition to that Otoshi Shrine, another Otoshi Shrine at Sugi, Kamikawa Town, Daishoji Temple at Osaka City in Okayama Prefecture, Hokke-san Ichijo Temple at Kasai City, Hyogo Prefecture, which was the headquarters of Hodo Sennin, a famous hermit, are all places at which if one prays in front of the halls of worship, the prayers are naturally directed towards the Jesus tomb at Minami Oda, Kamikawa. Further on, one finds the place where Jesus passed away in Okayama Prefecture. That place is Okayama Prefecture's Honami Bizen City. Honami is a peaceful place with a scenic view of Katakami Bay, which is a cove of the Seto Inland Sea. Jesus Christ passed away November 17th, 99 AD, at the age of 102. Connecting the places of Jesus' passing, Jesus' burial tomb in Kamikawa Town, and Kurakake Island makes a right triangle. This is the fifth right triangle. Kurakake Island is a small island located approximately 7 kilometers west of Kamishima in the Ieshima Island group. Then, connecting the place of Jesus' passing to Todai-ji and Koya-san Kongobu-ji also makes a right triangle with an integer ratio of 5, 12, 13. This is the sixth right triangle. On the line connecting the place of Jesus' passing and Jesus' tomb, there is a mountain with a contour line shaped like a cross. The line even goes straight over the vertical length of that cross. Moreover, this place is located due west of Hiei-zan Enryaku-ji Kompon Chudo Hall. Thus, Todai-ji, Enryaku-ji, and the cross-shaped mountain form another right triangle. This is the seventh one. The cross is a universally recognized symbol of Jesus Christ. Visiting the intersection of the cross showed that there was a wonderful structure of iwakura, ancient Shinto sacred rocks. A perpendicular line drawn southeast from these rocks reaches Koya-san Kongobu-ji Kondo Hall, therefore connecting the cross-shaped mountain Kongobu-ji and the place of Jesus' passing gives us another right triangle, the eighth one. Naturally, on the other side, the cross-shaped mountain, Jesus' burial tomb at Kamikawa Town, and Kongobu-ji also connect to form a right triangle, although an elongated one. This is the ninth right triangle. The tomb of Mary, the mother of Jesus, is in Misaki Town, Okayama Prefecture. Here is the mountain where we can find Mary's tomb. The contour map shows it as lines in the shape of a drawstring bag. At the summit, one can find rock remains of an ancient ritual site. If we draw lines connecting this tomb of Mary, the burial tomb in Kamikawa Town, and the official tomb in Kakogawa City, this also gives us a right triangle, the 10th right triangle. Incidentally, at Hokke-san Ichijoji Temple mentioned earlier, there is a 3-storied pagoda. If one worships there, one is directly facing Mary's tomb. What these facts show is that for Saicho, Kukai, and others who were involved with the temple master plans, even while the secret of the tombs in Kamikawa Town and Kakogawa Town were kept, they were considered to be important and safely guarded. The mountaineering monks of the ancient Shugen practice, founded by the legendary En-no Gyoja, secretly passed down the awareness of Jesus' tomb's existence. Landmarks that prove these things are the 5-storied pagoda at Todai-ji Temple in Fushimi Ward of Kyoto, head temple of the Shugen practice from Shingon Buddhism, and the 3-storied pagoda in Kurashiki City, Okayama Prefecture's Goryu-son Ryuin, which is the head temple of the Shugen practice of the Tendaishu Buddhist sect. Both temples are a distance of 103 kilometers from the Jesus tomb at Kamikawa Town. Also, both temples are a distance of 95 kilometers from the Jesus tomb at Kakogawa City. Both the Shugen practitioners of the Shingon sect and the Shugen practitioners of the Tendai sect were united in spirit in regard to offering prayers to Jesus Christ. Pagodas originally developed from the stupa, which enshrined Shaka Buddha's remains, and are therefore a very suitable landmark for marking the location of the tombs. Well, everyone, what do you think of these things? It cannot be a coincidence that so many geometric shapes can be drawn. Thank you for watching till the end.